the overview of the urinary system, which is starting basically from the inferior vena cava and abdominal aorta, going through the kidneys, the ureter, etc., all the way through the urethra. We all separate. So we just start here into the birth canal, which is the vagina. From the vagina, we then have the uterus, but the uterus is broken down into different parts. First, we have the cervix, which is labeled 6 on this particular model here. So there's the cervix there. Followed by number 7, the body. And then number 8 is the fundus. Just like a fundus in the stomach is this nice kind of bulb-looking sac.
What was number 6 again?
The cervix.
6 is the cervix. 6 is the cervix. Okay? Now, your uterus has layers within the uterine walls known as the metriums. Very similar to what we saw in the heart with the cardiomes. We have endo, myo, and peri. So, inner lining, what's that going to be? Endo. The endometrium. Middle? Myometrium. Outer? Perimetrium.
So what was that again?
Endometrium, myometrium, perimetrium. Inner, middle, outer.
Did you show them on the model?
Endo, inner lining, middle, myo, and then the peri is just the outer casing here.
Okay.
And that's the layers of the cervix.
That's for the entire uterus.
Oh.
That's for all of the uterus. Excuse me. Now, once we leave the uterus, we then go into the tubes here. The common name that we use for the tubes are the fallopian tubes. If we're talking about the humans on the quiz, you can call them fallopian tubes. But for a universally specimen-wide term, we use uterine tubes.
Oh,
Uterine
if women don't want to
tubes.
get pregnant, those are the ones they tie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
on the pig and the cat.
on the pig and the cat, you call them uterine tubes, not fallopian.
Okay.
You can call the humans uterine too if you just want to make everything simple. Now, so here are uterine tubes here, 2. Then we come up to these finger-like projections here, which are 3, called the fimbriae.
How do you spell it?
Fimbriae is
Fimbrae.
what she
Oh,
said.
I see it right over there on my other page.
She said it before I can get the F out. So, oh. Yeah, that was on camera. Scratch that. So, yeah, scratch that. So, now, slightly suspended away from the fimbriae, not exactly touching the fimbriae, we have the ovaries here, which are number 1. So there's not a direct attachment, it's a small separation between the fimbriae and the ovaries. So this model is just a little misleading in that regard. Now, the uterus is anchored in the abdomen, in the lower abdomen, by several ligaments. So we first have, coming out straight towards the front abdominal wall here, number 29, the round ligament. That's going straight towards the front abdominal wall, the round ligament. Anchoring the uterine tubes and ovaries, we have number 30, the ovarian ligament.
Round ligament is 29.
What was the ovarian ligament?
30. The uterine tube and ovaries. And then we have this top anchor that's coming directly superior here, number 28, the suspensory ligament. This is going up towards the mesenteries. So that's the female.
Don't worry about the broad ligament.
No.
And we don't have the orifice on our thing. Do we need to know that?
Yes.
Okay, could you repeat that again, please?
The external urethral orifice is basically the exit point for the urethra.
23.
Yeah, 23 here.
I'm sorry, what was it again?
It's the external urethral orifice. External urethral orifice. Okay. Now for the male, the main difference here is that for the male, we have basically one opening for two systems. Same opening for the urinary and reproductive system. So, for the male, let's talk about the male urinary system here because it's a little more complicated than what we saw previously. So, here's the male's urinary bladder here.
Thank you.
And again, there's the trigone. And now we have this very long urethra. But unlike what we had in the female where we just had the plain urethra, we have three different sections of urethra for the male. Three different sections of urethra for the male. Okay, so as we initially come out of the urinary bladder, this nice gland here, number 7, that's directly underneath the urinary bladder, is the prostate gland. The prostate gland here. And what we're looking at is this part of the urethra that's passing through the prostate gland. So we call this section the prostatic urethra.
Can you point at it again? Okay. Thank you.
So on a test, how would you word that question?
Which means
Like name the...
structure, both are structures, so I just put a sticker here or here.
Okay, gotcha.
Two different structures.
Inside.
Yep.
Okay.
But which one will you know? Which one when
If it's inside, then you know it's the urethra.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gland here. The tube is still the urethra.
Okay.
Now, once we leave the prostate gland, which is here, this is the end of the prostate gland. Once we leave the prostate gland, then we have the membranous urethra.
That's number 8.
It's still the same tube here.
Oh.
Still the same tube. Here's the end of your prostate gland here. So once we leave the prostate gland, so now here, this becomes the membranous urethra. Okay? Then we continue towards the penis. Once we enter the penis, we have the penile urethra. Prostatic urethra here in the prostate. After the prostate, we have the membranous urethra. Then in the penis, we have the penile urethra. And then we exit the penis through the external urethral orifice, or you can be fancy with it and call it the penile urethral orifice. So
we're getting extra points.
So you can call it
fanciness.
penile orifice?
yeah, either one.
Dude, sperm travels a long way.
Now, let's talk about the reproductive system, because we still have the same exit point here. But we're starting now with this flap of skin here known as the scrotum. So this is the scrotum down here.